Yo, obakwe bile agbay ngamoy yibo. Yo obakwe boni kaji ukemuku mwe ukele baye. We are going to look at days of the week, greetings, numbers, and we are going to see how we can have a small chit chat or introduce yourself to somebody you meet first time. So when you meet anybody the first time, kind of conversations you have. Going to look give the greetings and the introduction, basic introductions of yourself. Yeah. All right, so days of the week, we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, up to Sunday. Okay, so how do we say Monday in Ghana? Monday, anybody?
Yeah.
It's Jew.
You. Yeah, Monday is Jew.
Is this the first lesson you've done with the girl? Is this the last in the series? I've just joined now.
This is the last in the series. But what I'm doing here is what I'm trying to go back to everything that we've done throughout the series. So I'll pick a few things, put them together.
Have you done like simple sentences like, are you coming? When are you coming?
Yes.
Like maybe or baba, maba wo, maba ju. And then you can have a question and answer conversation with the words that we're learning.
Yes. Yes, we did that, I think, a couple of months ago.
Oh, okay.
So Jew, and we've got Tuesday. What is Tuesday in Ghana? Anybody? U4. Now the Ghana names actually, the days of the week in Ghana, it's very simple. And you will see the link in them. In fact, I'm not even going to spell them in English now. So we got Jew, Jew4. Monday to Sunday. To make it simpler. Jew4. And Wednesday, anybody knows Wednesday? Wednesday is short. Short. Or short. And Thursday is so or soul. So when we are speaking, we say so. It is so with one O. And Thursday is soha. Did I say Thursday? No, Friday. Then we come to Saturday, which is ho. When we are speaking, we say ho. When we are writing, we say ho. Speaking, we say ho. And Sunday is hoba. Okay, so what does anybody know the first thing, first greeting? So morning, how do we greet in Ghana? Anybody know?
Ojeko.
Ojeko. Thank you. Ojeko. In the morning, we greet Ojeko. Ojeko. And the response here is usually Ojimra.
Now?
Ojimra. That is a response for Ojeko. Now, Ojeko comes from, we say Ojekun, which literally means Ojeko Ekun. So you went into your den or into your room or into your cave, whichever way you're going to describe your room or where you sleep. But then death does not take you away. You have come back again. Ojeko Ekun. Ojeko Ekun. And afternoon greeting is Minaoko. Minaoko. And again, you can hear, the response could be the same, Minaoko, or it could also be Minaijo. Two ways of responding. Either you repeat Minaoko or you say Minaijo. But in a more informal way, when we are greeting people, it's not all the time that you hear Ojeko. Ojeko, you hear it a lot. But when it comes to afternoon and evening greetings, you don't, even in the gangster, in a crowd, you don't hear it quite often. Okay, so what are some of the greetings that we do greet, that you hear people greet during the course of the day? And these greetings can be at any time of the day. And some of these greetings are Tete. Usually it is preceded by Charlie. Charlie. Charlie Tete. Right. So let's say Tete, which literally means how are you? Or how are things? So Tete, which means how are you? Thanks. Okay. Can anybody, has anybody had any other experience of any other greetings that anybody has said to them in the past?
And we have Teo Tang.
Do your thing.
Bye.
Okay. Okay. So take your thing. Take your thing, which also literally means how are you? And the response here is yeah, Jogbam. Yeah, Jogbam. Okay. So this is where I am going to say something here. Who said it? Was it Casper?
Yeah, Caspar, yeah.
Okay, good. Now, what was the response? What is the usual response that you hear with take
Teo
your thing?
Tang. Iyo Juba.
Yeah, Ojogbam.
Yeah, Juba.
Yeah, Ojogbam. Okay. And this is where I usually correct a lot of people and a lot of even a lot of guys still do make this mistake. Yeah. So when we are writing, we say me. And there is a difference between these two words. Oh, Ojogbang.
You know with Inky? Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Ojogbang. Okay. Now, Ojogbang has a different meaning from Jogbang.
That's it.
Okay. So the mistake we usually do is that we say Miye Ojogbang. Now, Ojogbang, when we say Ojogbang, we are talking about our mental state. Okay. So if a Ghana person asks you this question, Oye Ojogbang, they are asking you, are you right in the head? Okay. Are you right in the head? But that is the difference between Jogbang, Miye Jogbang. It means that I am okay, I am all right, I am good.
Okay.
So that should be the response to the greetings. The response should be Miye Jogbang.
Oh wow! So people actually they've said it wrong. The EL Juba is wrong. It should be
yes, it is
Mia
wrong.
Juban.
Totally
Wow.
wrong. It should
Wow.
be
But that's
Miye
what's
Jogbang.
commonly spoken. What's commonly spoken is wrong.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yes.
Oba
So I'm okay.
Oba chaki wo wiemo.
Yes, I know what chaki wo wiemo.
Oba really Mia Juban.
Miye Jogbang nakan. Miye Jogbang. Ejake wiemo ko chaki lo jugba but no wio eshisinu mo no koku. It means that what you're saying the wrong thing, which means it is totally wrong.
The meaning
That's
is
why I try to correct everybody and anything. Ojubang and Jubang. Okay. So the right response is Miya Jubang. I am good, I am fine, I am well. And a lot of people also ask this question, Oye Ojubang, without knowing.
That one is an insult.
Yes, a huge insult, without knowing that it is an insult.
Yeah.
Unless somebody is having a quarrel with you and you know that they are angry and they ask you that question, or you've done something wrong, or you said something which is completely wrong, and they are like, oh yeah, Jobang. So the expression makes you think, what are they now asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the only way, only time that people realize that actually Jobang doesn't mean something different. But yes, it does. So the right response is Niye Jobang.
I can say some more greetings as well.
Pardon?
Like we have Miniano.
Miniano.
Okay. What's going on?
So again, Miniano. Now we hear mini. Miniano, which literally means what's going on, like you said. Yeah. Great. But Miniano, it is actually many.
Miniano, yeah.
Many Yano. Many Yano. So a lot of the times you hear many, but it is many.
Sure. And the response is Minkwebo.
Yeah. Yeah. That is when you are asking. This is an informal way of asking people, how are you, what's going on. So literally many Yano is what's going on. And like you said, people will say Minkwebo. It means, well, I'm looking at you, or I'm relying on you. You are the boss. Or yes, I'm looking up to you. Or sometimes people will say, others will also say, so you say, Minkwebo.
Yeah.
Minkwebo. So I'm looking at you. Or sometimes people will say, Dromosong. Dromo song.
Dromo song is more respectable.
Yes, it's more
So it
respectful.
could be maybe a response to Te Oyo Ten. Then you say Numo Dromo.
Numo dromo na. Numo dromo na or
Numo
numo dromo literally means God's grace.
Yeah.
So dromo means grace. So dromo song, it's all grace. It's all
True,
grace.
yeah.
It's all grace. So it depends on the circle of friends and the background of the friends. They will either use Minkwabo or dromo song, or sometimes a combination of the two. I use a combination of the two, depending on who I'm speaking to and who is asking me, how are you? How are things going? Okay. Another way to introduce yourself or to greet anybody. So especially if you go somewhere and somebody is working, okay, you don't greet the person Miniyano. Miniyano, you can see the person working. So why on earth are you asking me Miniyano? I am working. Okay. And usually if somebody is working, you ask them one question or you greet them in a particular way. And that way is, does anybody know?
Do you mean like Tino Chumom Le Yo Ten?
And that is one way.
Okay.
Yes. So we say for someone.
I'm trying to remember now. There's one like Ininabo.
Okay, Ininabo. Ininabo is for when somebody is eating and you just
And you're inviting them to join you.
and you yes.
Yeah.
That one you say Oninami.
Oninami.
Oninami. You are saying, okay, Oninami, you've come and join me.
Okay.
Okay. For someone working, as soon as you get to where they are working or you get to them, you don't say good morning, Minaoko or Ojeko or that. You say Aiko,
Oh, okay. Yeah, Aiko.
Aiko, Aiko, which literally means well done. Because we applaud people who work hard or who like to work, who don't like lazy people.
Yeah.
So the first greeting is Aiko before anything else. You can still go on and say many yano. But the first thing is applaud them for what they are doing, acknowledge what they are doing, acknowledge the situation that they are in, which is Ayuko done for doing the job. So the Ayuko can follow, it can be followed by
Yeah.
yeah, they will respond, yeah, will be the response to Ayuko. Doesn't matter who greets you, Ayuko, whether it's an elderly person, a young person, your age mate, the responses are the same. Yeah, and that can be after that you can say, "Can be your turn or take your turn?" How are things going? Then that will bring on our conversation. So,
I've got
and you
another
can
common response as well,
go on.
which is Wunhiemli.
Yemlin.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's the more informal ones.
Yes. Yemlin. So that
But you can't say
comes.
Wunhiemli to an elder. It's disrespectful.
It is.
Because to an elder you have to say, positive things. You can't say Wunhiemli is like we're struggling or we're managing.
Yeah,
Like
we
it's
are
not
managing.
perfect, but we're dealing with it. But to an elder, you can't tell an elder that. You have to be very positive that
Very positive. That's it.
Everything
That's
is
it. Exactly. Our culture, the Ga culture is such a way that it's a positive culture. You need to be positive, especially when you have to be formal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, it also depends on the kind of the relationship you have with that elder.
Sure.
If the older person, you are very close to the person, you can still be informal.
Sure.
Where you can say, Dromona. So the R at the beginning, that side, tell the adult that, okay, or the elderly person that, yes, it's by God's grace, things are good, but there is something behind that. And that might probably prove some further questions along that side. And you did mention something else, and I said that is okay. Oninami or oninami.
When you're eating, yeah.
When you are eating, so you invite somebody, but usually for me, so when somebody is eating, you say oninami. Okay, it's an invitation for them to come and eat.
You're invited
Invitation
to eat. Yeah.
for them to come and eat. Really, that is the formal way of saying it. But for me, if you say oninami, you have not invited me. You are being polite.
Yeah, yeah. It's not literal. You don't want them to come and eat your food.
Exactly. But it's like
depends
it's
on
part
the
of the
person,
culture you have
how
because
generous you are.
exactly. Exactly. So if I am your friend, age mates, and you say oninami, if it is an elderly person who says oninami, that is great. You waladon. That will be my response. Thank you. Okay, thank you. It's not an actual invitation for you to go and eat. If you were my friend and you say oninami, I will say yo or inineyemli. So the response here, in fact, the response will be response. Meaning, this is not 9, it is nini. Okay, meaning, meaning, which literally means that my hands are in it. Meaning, or sometimes you will hear when we are speaking, instead of saying meaning, we will say in. You will hear people say in instead of me. And even the milling, it is the right word is milling, but you will hear people saying me. In. You will hear that a lot, but the right word there is milling. But it doesn't mean that if you hear in, it's not right. That is how a lot of people have learned to say. So milling becomes me. If you want the person to come and eat, you say bawa yeni. That is an invitation to come and eat. So if you say, Charlie, my friend, if it is my friend, I will say, Charlie, bawa yeni. Bawa yeni. Charlie, come, let's eat. Bawa yeni. Come, let's eat. For that, I will gladly come and eat. Because that is a proper invitation to come and eat. Okay. And that will tell me that that friend actually means business. They mean for me to come and eat them. They are not just trying to be formal. They are actually giving me an invitation. All right. So another thing I want us to look at, the numbers quickly. Then we will use that into a bit of conversation as well. Now, numbers 1 to 10. Now, few people, again, you will find a very, 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 very few people who know the numbers. Because majority of the time, people use the numerals that we use, 1 to 10, 15, 20, 100, 200. But if you meet an indigenous Ga, an older person, usually it's an older generation who really know their numbers. And they will usually speak to you in the Ga numbers. They will not sway from it because they will tell you they don't understand it. They cannot speak English. Nothing you will do will sway them or change them. Because they will use their numbers. Okay. So it is quite a good tool to know so that actually sometimes you can actually speak to some of our older generation. So one is, what is one? Everybody know? Restore it. One is ekome, no, ete, edre, enumo, ekpa, pao, pano, nemu, noma. Has any of you learned these numbers?
Mhm.
Okay, good. How about you, Tamara?
No, never. Don't know them.
Okay. What I'm going to do, actually, I've got a video on my YouTube page, actually, that goes through all the numbers from 1 to 10, then from 10 to the tens, when it comes to the tens, how we form the tens, then how we do the 20s, hundreds, up to 1,000. And it is something that I use to, usually when I go to Ghana and I'm in the market, actually, I use some of my traders. And if they are indigenous Ghana traders, they would know their numbers of by heart. They know their numbers.
I have a different view on the numbers, you know. I think the numbers is like a Western thing. And when we are English speakers, we want to use our Western mind to try to learn a language. So we start with days of the week, we start with numbers, we start with months of the year. But actually, they're not really African concepts in the same way. Like even African languages are not really written down. I mean, they're written down now, but for thousands of years, they've not really been written down in that way because people used it to speak and do things. They didn't need to be writing books. So I find that learning numbers is more like a kind of Western thing that we want to do. And actually for the Ga people, you know, the real Ga villages, they manage to do it without needing to use numbers so much. But when they do use numbers, normally it's in English because they might be selling to somebody who's a different tribe. And so they want to, you know, like numbers is more like a kind of Ghanaian thing, you know, like national thing for everybody learns it in school. Like most of the kids, they can count to 100 in English, but they wouldn't know how to start in their own language, you know? So
And that is the thing, because at the end of the day, the Ghanaian languages are not taught.
what I find
the
really
English
important with
is
the
taught.
numbers is like saying how many, and then to say a lot. Like, is it enough? Eshebo, eshe, or you know, eshe, and then more
Yes.
if you want less, if it's a little, if it's too much, because those words are the ones you can use every day when you're speaking Guy. You can always, if someone's come to give you food, you can start to speak about it. If you want to buy something straight away, you can say, I want more, you know, like add one more, take one away. You know, I think those, it's still numbers, it's still about quantity, but it's a different, it's not about the 1 to 10, you know, it's more the different ways to do it.
Yeah, that can be true, but then also we do use numbers a lot, just that we don't use bigger numbers, because if you look at the Ghanaian language, like you said, part of it is true. When it is too many numbers, you just say P, instead of being specific. But when it comes to like 1, 2, 3, hami ekome, enye obahi, how much or how many you buy? Enye obahi, mahi enyo, I'll buy
I think
2.
you should start with those ones that you're saying now with Tamara. Like if she doesn't have them now, I think that's a good place to start with. You know, how many do you want? They say 1, 2, and then maybe one more,
Exactly.
one less.
Exactly. So mahi enyo, I'll buy 2. Hami enyo, give me 2. Or hami eten, give me 3. Enyo small, means small, P, that tells you that they probably need more than 10. Okay. So we use it, but it's not all the numbers that we do use, because it is much easier. And the reason why it has become that way, because it is much easier to say some of the bigger numbers in English than in the Ghanaian language, especially Ghana. So for example, when you want to say 120 or 121, it becomes Ohai Enyo or Oha Kanyumai Enyo Ke Ekome. Oha Kanyumai Enyo Ke Ekome. So 121. Which one is easier? Is it 121 or 121?
The English one is easier.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the younger generation, we've always used numbers. But the reason why it's fading out and the reason why you don't see it, you don't hear it a lot, it's not because we never used numbers. We have always used numbers.
Sure.
But it's because we are finding, younger generations are finding that, okay, saying it in English, using these English numbers, much easier and quicker than saying the Ghana. So instead of using the Ghana and learning it, 120 or 100, 200, quick, simple, job done. So then they are not learning Ghana way of saying numbers. And it's also because majority of the language that we use in schools are in English. So somebody even goes to school and out of, say, the 6 hours they will stay in school, they'll spend 30 minutes learning Ghana. And even that is not every day, about twice a week. So then they are more used to using a lot of English than the Ghana language itself. Okay. So having said that, let's go back to introducing ourselves and maybe using some numbers or some conversations when you meet somebody. Now, what I'm going to do now is, yes, okay. So we have our numbers. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How old are you? How would you say how old you are in Ghana? So I'm going to ask you a question. How old are you? Meet somebody, how old are you? How would you actually say this in Ghana?
Afi enye oye.
Afi enye oyi. Okay. It is afi plural. Afi is singular. Afi plural. Enye. Afi enye oyi. Or you can say it another way. Oye afi enye. That is another way you will hear people say, ask this same question. Afi enye oye. literally meaning how many years have you actually eaten? Literally, if you want to translate it word for word, afi ini or oye afi ini. And what will be our response if you're going to respond to this? First thing, miye, because it's a possessive pronoun, miye. Afi, plural. Okay, this is where the numbers come in. But a lot of the times these days, if you should ask an older person, they will use ga, like I just said. But if you are asking a younger generation who doesn't know who don't know their numbers, they'll say inye 20. So miye becomes inye when we are speaking. So a lot of the times when you see me write miye or me something, okay, you will hear people say in instead of me. So inye afi, instead of afi, some people will just say inye 20. I am 20. Of that. Instead of actually using the ga numbers. Or the numbers
20, is that enumo?
20, enumo is 5.
5. Oh yeah, I think that was 20.
20 is nyongmai.
Okay.
Nyongmai enyo. Nyongmai enyo. Now nyongma is 10.
Okay.
110. Nyongmai plural, tens. So how many tens? 2 tens. Nyongmai enyo.
And then to add, you have to add ke.
And if it is say 23, 3 is 18. So if 23, it becomes nyongmai enyo. Okay. Okay, 18.
Okay, that's tens.
Yeah. So nyongma is 10. Tens, nyongmai. So 2 tens and a 3. Go. Okay. My in okay. This number actually is 25. Here afi my enyo ke enum. I'm 25 years old. So you see why a lot of the younger generation, instead of saying me afi my enyo ke enum, will actually say me, or even, well, majority of the times iye 25. Okay. That is how come we always, well, majority of the time we get this year 25. I am 25. Simple, short. We want to cut things. Okay. Where do you come from? So you've seen somebody having a conversation, you don't know where they're coming from, you're introducing yourself and they're asking you where do you come from?
Nigbe oche.
Good. So here, Nigbe. Yeah, Nigbe. But the actual way of saying, the right way of saying is Negbe. Nebe. It's not nibe. The wrong way of saying things. Nebe. Yeah. Where do you come from? Nebe. But we have heard nibe so many times that nibe has become, you hear 90% of people saying nibe. And unfortunately, you see books with nibe. But it's not nibe, it's nebe. Or nebe. Nebe. Okay. Okay, nebe oje, where literally means where do you come from? So the response could be how mije, 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 maybe UK. The UK, you come from the UK. Or this is for a singular person, so you're asking somebody, where do you come from? What if there are two people or more? How are you going to ask the same question to two or more people? Anybody? Can any of you guess? My keyboard is messed up, so I keep on typing the wrong letters. Change my layout, and my mind is still stuck to the old layout.
So you want to ask where are you from plural, or?
Yes.
So that's nye. Negbe nyeje.
Good. Negbe. Excellent. Negbe. So the response here is going to be, even if it is one person who is responding to this, it will be Woje.
Woje shon.
Woje Shong. But yeah, we put that.
Yeah.
Woje Shong. Woje Shong. We coming from far.
Yeah.
Woje Shong. You know, have you ever heard of that song? From that group.
Wogbe
Very,
jeke.
yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. That just reminded me of that song. Bejeke. Woje Shong.
Maybe at the end of this, ni sani o wie ochon on the bluff kebi mo ya bluff formally.
Mary.
Like don't know my fan, sani on my layer bluff formally. Kone
Yes, Mama Blafon.
Monica se ba na.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So what Bejeke? What your song? Where do you come from? Where do you come from? Or where do you, in fact, where do you come from? First one is singular, second one is plural. Yeah. Plural. O. Singular. So come from far.
I guess it would be like far away or afar in English,
You
wouldn't
come
it? We
from
come from
far
afar.
away or far. From far. However you want to put it. Far away, like you said. Yep. The UK. I come from the UK. NAB is also Where do you come from? Hey, that's not. Thank you for reminding me. I would have left it. Okay, so any other common sentence or phrase that any of you have heard? You can say it in English, then we will translate it into Ghana. Like common question that somebody asked you before or you've heard before, but you didn't understand it.
How do you greet like a group of people, like to welcome a group? Or is it just the same as when you're saying, oh gosh, what was it? Like the tail or your tear, is that just singular, or can you ask that to a group, or like how do you have like a big greetings or what have you?
One thing I can think of is Minganya Fe. Literally, I greet you all.
Okay.
Minganya Fe.
And absolutely, when you said another way, like the question you asked about, can you actually say take your thing? Take O, the O means singular, or you can turn it into a plural. Take nye your thing. Nye. So once you use the word nye, for example, you can say take your thing. This is plural.
Sorry, can you say it one more time again? Sorry.
Take your thing.
Nye.
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 That's it. Nye.
Okay.
Take your thing. So it's how are you, but actually it's plural.
How are you, plural?
So
we don't even have that word in English, you know, nye. We don't have it. We don't have a word for you, plural.
No.
So it's a new thing to learn.
Yeah.
It's literally a new like way of speaking to say nye.
That's why a lot of the times when you're thinking about English, when you are learning, especially Ghanaian languages, it doesn't, even a sentence structure is very different from English. So how are you?
You know the response to that question, Tinya your thing, what the response would be.
Yes, the response will depend on whether you are also responding back to one person or the person who greeted is in a group. Okay, so if you are responding to one person, you will say, so the person asks, you say, okay, one person can respond on behalf of the group and say, Waye Jobang. So again, Jobang has come, Waye Jobang. Yeah, well, not Waye Ojobang. Waye Jobang. We literally all, well, all doing good. Waye Jobang. Waye Jobang.
We can add the all as well to the sentences, right?
Pardon?
To the Tinya, you can add all into that as well. Tinya Fenya your thing.
Yes. Pinya fan, your ten. So really, yeah, like you said, so you can add it here. Fan.
But do you have to then repeat nye again, right?
Yeah, you have to repeat nye again.
And I think nye fan is like one word. Nye fan, what fan? That's you all.
So nye fan, your ten, or your ten. Because we are adding nye fan, I'll put nye fan in bracket. It's optional. You can either add it or you can take it out. Nye fan, your ten. And like you said, if you're going to use the nye fan, you say nye fan as one word. Fan, then nye your ten. It's literally repeating the same thing. How are you all? Whichever way you say it. And the response here, like I said, is yeah. Or again, we can say Wafan Waya Jobam. Wafan Waya Jobam. That's the beauty of it. You can change it, and sometimes it works. And there is more than one way of saying things. In Ghana, there are a lot of things, a lot of words in English that we don't have the same words in Ghana. So the best thing is sometimes descriptive. Right, so is there any question here? Any addition before we finish this chapter today?
Do you want to add the one like I greet you, we greet you?
Okay.
Because that one you can say any time of day, any elder person,
Yes.
when you meet them. It's like a very easy way to say something polite to someone. Mingabo.
Mingabo.
And then miheleno.
Yeah.
And then you can also say that to a group of people as well.
Mingabo or mingani. Mingabo or mingani, which literally means you. Again, it can be either you singular or you plural. Okay. So the you here can be singular or plural. And the response will be, so the response depends. If it's minganye, it's plural, the response is going to be different. It is 1 million. Theory. Uno. 1 million. Hele uno. Or 1 million. Hele uno. Usually you will hear
The text is moving around, eh?
the words are just jumping around. Okay. But you will hear mean here uno, singular. Okay. So that will be mingabo, minganye. So minganye, you are greeting a group of people, so they will respond, or one person out of the group will respond. Here uno. Or one here uno. Now, O here is the same as bo. Okay. no or bono. Me here bono. Or me here bono. Or me here. Or if it is one person, okay, here. If it is one person, you say me here bono. Depends, you respond accordingly. Whether the person is speaking one person or a group of people. And as I said, this is routine that you can do any time of the day, anywhere. Okay? But you have to be careful that you are not greeting this greeting to an elderly person or somebody who has who is a traditional leader. Okay, that would be disrespectful.
Is it J or is it H? Me here or no?
Sorry. Oh, yeah. Mihiri. Mihiri. If it is a traditional person or somebody who has a rank in the society, you don't greet them mingabu, alo, minaoko, ojiko. Let me give you this last greeting before we go. So special greeting, I'll say special greeting. For persons in power, for example. And once you have seen anybody in power or anybody who traditionally is a leader, okay, i.e. you see the chief or the linguist, anybody, what you greet them, you don't greet them, like I said, you don't greet them good morning, good afternoon, it is disrespectful. If it is a female, you start with na. The person is a male, you say ni. Okay, and the greeting here is hamanye. Hamanye. So what you are doing is that you are giving them that respect that needs to be accorded them, and you are asking them to bless you because the greeting is a blessing. So ni hamanye, ni or na hamanye, bless me. And the response from them will be maybe or minabi. Maybe means my child. Minabi, my grandchild. Hey, manye, take the blessing, or umanye ablau. So ni or na hamanye. Let me write that in English. Ni, literally, bless me. Literally speaking, bless me. That's why they will say maybe or minabi. Maybe or minabi. Hey, manye, take the blessing. Or if they don't say take the blessing, they will say umanye ablau. It really means blessings wrap around you. So it is actually it is umanye abla. Blessings wrap itself around you. But we cut it short and say umanye ablau. And your response to that will be him. Your response to this will be him. Which also literally means ehi ahawo. It should be good. Yes. Ehi ahawo.
So that should be actually a sentence.
That should actually be a sentence. So a lot of the times when you hear them, you hear guys praying at national or any derba, you hear the linguists or people responding him. So the linguists, when they are pouring the libation and they are saying things, they are saying the blessings, then people are saying him. That is what it means. Ehi ahawo. It should be good to us for us. All right, great. So with this, we have come to the end of today's lesson. I hope we have all learned something here.
You are done.
Ubemishida menyabi. Ubemishida. Sidamo aha Yehowa. Which literally means you don't have to thank me. Praise be to God. Yo, so this recording as well, I am going to put it, if you want the recording is finished, I'll put it on YouTube tonight. And so you can go back and watch it at any time. And yeah, you can also reach out to me through WhatsApp or through text, whichever avenue you prefer, and reach out to me. If there's anything else, then yes, we can go. Caspar, we'll be talking more actually. I got a few things that I think we will discuss.
Yeah, sure.
Lessons.
Sure.
Yeah, we can do things together. Right.
All right, guys. Bye-bye. Thanks for the lesson.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks very much. That was great. Cheers.
All right then. That's good. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.